Hey Blues fans, how's it going? Seiko Polly back again with another video created the Blue Little Blog here on YouTube. And I know it's been a while. It's been about 2 months since I posted a video. I don't even think I went over the Holloway and Broberg offer sheets and whatever else happened in between that time span. But you know what? I'm here now, and today was a big day because the St. Louis Blues played the season opening game against the Seattle Kraken in Seattle today at 1:30 for myself, 3:30 for you guys, or 4:30 for anyone more east. But and this game was interesting. It's a lot to take in, right? So obviously, before this game started, I felt like there was a lot of hype around the St. Louis Blues team. They got a lot deeper. They added a little bit more offense. There was a lot of hype. We saw Holloway score 3 goals in his 3 preseason games. Mateo Joseph played great in preseason. Broberg upping the defense. Texier adding some skill and some speed, right? Foxa adding some depth to our penalty kill and stuff. So it just felt like this team was going to be a lot more different, and I was going to have a lot more high hopes for them. And don't get me wrong, it's still early, but I was a bit disappointed with this team overall. Kind of, it's so weird. This team's so weird. Let me kind of get into it, game period by period, like I normally do. So, first period starts off, and there's a bunch of wild chances on each side. Versus Kraken, then Blues. Jordan Kyrou rings one off the post. What I noticed from Jordan Kyrou too in that second line. They looked fantastic. They looked really quick, and Jordan Kyrou just wanted to shoot the puck on net. Didn't matter if he missed it or hit the post or hit the goalie. He was flinging it today. Flinging it. And that made me really happy. It really seems like, and I'm getting confident that he might actually hit the 40-goal mark like other people are saying in their hot takes, right? But Jordan Kyrou, easily probably the most gifted offensive player on the team. I say Robert Thomas is probably the most gifted overall player, but Kyrou for sure offensively can pot 40 goals, and we saw that today. Speedy, skilled winger, right? And that first period, I felt like he looked good. But then after those chances the St. Louis Blues had, after that, it just seemed like it was just the Jordan Bennington show. And thank God he picked up where he left off last year because he played absolutely phenomenal today. But the fact was our defense and, our defensive game, not even just defense, were just puck watching. They would come down from behind the net, the Seattle Kraken. They'd kind of throw it in front of the net for an easy chance. Bennington was there to stop it. There was a couple times I think Jaden Schwartz hit a post at one point. A couple missed the nets. A couple where Bennington wasn't too quick enough to react because it was just so close quarters, right? So that was just tough to see. Defense I wasn't really impressed with. Lots of turnovers, but thankfully the first period ends 0-0 in the St. Louis Blues at this point are getting shot like, I don't know, like it was like a 12 to like 6 or something stupid. Something crazy. Blues first period absolutely flat. First half of the second period still flat, and we get killed for it. So Vince Dunn in the first 27 seconds scores the very first goal. Okay, well, not very first goal because the Sabres and Devils played, but they scored first, and it kind of bites us in the ass because, hey, our defense and offense obviously are struggling, and Vince Dunn scores the opening goal for our season. And it was just like, damn. I mean, that's just me speaking. It was just like, man, we let him walk, like, or we gave him away to Seattle. That just sucks because he was such a skilled player, right? And he's sexy. No homo, for real. But, like, holy smokes, is that a good-looking guy, right? So, we go down 1-0, and then Seattle just pours it. They pour it, and then Tolvanen has a sick tip. It kind of in front of the net, and next thing you know, it's 2-0. St. Louis Blues are down, and Seattle keeps coming. They keep coming, and boom, it's 3-0. Luckily, it's offsides. That puck was a little bit across the blue line, and a scuffle kind of ensues. And it's just like, oh my God. Shortly after that, though, I'd say at the halfway mark of the second period and on, it was the Blues kind of slowly started to fight back. They started getting that puck in deep, winning those puck battles in the O-zone, kind of cycling that puck around. It wasn't necessarily clean, not grade A chances, but it was a step in the right direction. And then eventually we get a power play. That power play capitalized by Jordan Kyrou on a sick feed from Robert Thomas. Kyrou just slips this guy backhand, and next thing you know, it's 2-1. We're back in this game. And, it means something to a whole team when one of your best players is trying his ass off and he scores opening goal, and you could just see how hype Kyrou was. And I think that really lit a fire under the Blues' ass because in the next minute and 55 seconds, the Blues scored 2 other goals. So Broberg, this is a good play from Falk, who kind of skated in and I feel like faked the shot pretty well. Moved it over to the left side for Broberg, and Broberg takes a shot, and that goes in. Broberg with his first with the St. Louis Blues, and let me tell you, saying Broberg a lot is tough for my mouth. I will not lie, but it's hype to see Broberg score and Holloway getting assists. So both the offer sheet guys getting a apple both the offer sheet guys getting on the score sheet for this one. So Holloway with an apple and Broberg with a goal. Then shortly after, we get a Jordan Kyrou breakaway, and he just lets it loose. Great saucer pass by Alexander Texier too. Good read by him as well. He just floats this guy up high enough and soft to where it just lands straight on Kyrou's stick. And then he goes low blocker glove. I forget which side. Low right side. And next thing you know, the Blues are up 3-2. And let's just say from that point on, the period ends because I don't think there was anything else that really went down. Third period starts, and I feel like it was little 50-50 from here on out. Jordan Binnington still with some great saves, but as soon as it hit the halfway mark of the third period, from 11 minutes and 50 seconds and on, the Seattle Kraken did not get a single shot on goal. Great second half defensive game from the St. Louis Blues. They completely showed us a different team from the first half. There's still some things that need to get worked on, especially like starting a game the way that you should. And I felt like puck watching and not being as hungry enough, getting the pucks is the big issue. But, the St. Louis Blues kind of turned that around, and they end up winning their season opener against the Seattle Kraken 3-2 today. Jordan Binnington, player of the game for sure. 30 saves on 32 shots, a .938 save percentage. I believe it was 1.38 goals saved above expected as well. Binnington lights out. Without him, it was over. I'm telling you right now, it was over. He made some fantastic saves, and he kept us in the game to where Kyrou could come in on the power play and pot one. So that was absolutely massive, and I loved it. I love it. Jordan Kyrou looked great all game. Jake Neighbors, I felt like got bullied, but he was okay a little bit. I felt like the new additions looked really good. I thought Matteo Joseph, I think on the third line, is not where he belongs. I think if he had some different line mates, it'd work, because I feel like Kapanen and Shen were like, But Matteo Joseph, from what I saw, looked really good. Broberg looked solid. Leddy had some turnovers. Parayko had some turnovers too. Falk looked like he had an extra pep in his step, which I enjoyed. Suter on the goal against, I felt like was but I love Suter for the fact that he's a veteran presence and could teach some of these guys some of the ways that he succeeded in the National Hockey League. And then Matthew Kessel was all right as well. So St. Louis Blues end up winning that one 3-2. Fun game to watch, and I'm so thankful that they go up 1-0. Lots of feedback, lots of comments about, is this team going to be a playoff team? What is it going to be? And I ended up posting, what I normally do, but for the newcomers, I normally do this every game, or I try to where I say, ask a question, tell me your thoughts, what do you think is going on? And I'm just going to go in order here. So some guy, this is a guy who DMs me all the time, finally the Kyrou breakout season, ? Yeah, I think so. Genuinely, I felt like he played great, and if he can keep that up all season, I think it's better. And if you could pair him with, I'd like to see him, Thomas Texier. At one point, I think Texier has a bunch of speed and skill to match Thomas and Kyrou. I thought Holloway played pretty good too. I liked Holloway's speed a lot as well. But I just want to see Texier stick with Kyrou because of that saucer pass. I think that may have built a little bit of chemistry, and Thomas is just sick. So that's just my advice. But yes, Jordan Kyrou for sure breakout season. Then we have TR1 Stan said, why is Vince Dunn a bitch when he plays us? Because we're his former team, man. And we let him go. It hits a certain person, because these are people too. You got to keep them in mind. It hurts someone hard into the heart when you win a Stanley Cup and you've gone all the way. This is their dream. All these players, they have one dream that they dreamt of as kids coming to adults, to make the National Hockey League and win the Stanley Cup. And when you win a Stanley Cup with that one specific team that drafted you, it just hits hard. And the fact that, he was such a skilled up-and-coming player, Doug Armstrong said, hey, I'm not going to protect you. And then he gets claimed by Seattle. He's got a little chip on his shoulder. Fantastic player, and I'm so happy to see Vince Dunn do what he has done the last few years. So happy for him. And then also the same guy said, what newcomer will be big for us? And I do think that's tough. And so Overall, I think it might be Mateo Joseph. I think he has a lot more in stash than what we saw. The little things, I felt like the little things he did were right. He is a fast, physical, forward-checking player, and there's going to be times where that's going to be huge. If the Blues make the Stanley Cup playoffs, Mateo Joseph will be a big-time part in making it to the playoffs and being in the playoffs, specific like in the rounds. I don't know how to word that better, but just like while playing in playoffs, I think he's going to have a huge role. Same with the other newcomers. I felt like Holloway had a good game. I like the speed. I already said Texier. I feel like he had a solid game, and like his speed. Broberg with a goal. Suter is whatever. Pierre-Oliver Joseph, I'd love to see, in the lineup too. And Fox, I think that fourth line too is fun. Toropchenko, Foxa, and Walker all are feisty little bitches, man, and they just go. They just go, and it's fun. It's fun. So, that's my answer. And then King of STL 25 said Blues to Stanley Cup. A little early, but I wouldn't be opposed. Obviously, realistically talking here, the team will have to take a bunch of big steps forward. I would love to see them be a little bit more aggressive. I put it on Twitter too that one of my big lows I had for the team was I want to see more aggressiveness along the boards and winning those puck battles in the D zone. There's been a lot of time, and even in the O zone, there's been a lot of times where the Blues I feel like are kind of gliding a little bit, and when they could, I feel like some of these guys could get a puck that's on the boards, and they just don't. And it's I don't know. That's not how I play. I'm lazy as shit, but like these guys are in the National Hockey League, and I think they could do it. I think they could do it for real. So, no one Stanley Cup, but if they want to do that, do what I said. Ian, my boy, we are winning the cup. JK, but for real, we look so good after a rough start. Yoffs. Assuming that means playoffs. Potentially. I don't want to speak too soon because the Central Division is absolutely loaded, man. We still have Winnipeg to worry about. The Avalanche and Nate Dogg. The Nashville Predators now with Stammer, Marchessault, Forsberg, and O'Reilly. Yossi, Saros. Shit. The Stars. I think Utah's going to be a sleeper team too. Utah's going to be up there. Well, for sure, I think we might be ahead of the Wild, but always when we play them, it's 50-50. And then Chicago, they should be bottom. But it's gonna be it's gonna be a tough road. This is gonna be one of the hardest seasons that these kids have ever played ever in their life if they want to make playoffs, because this division is a tight one and it's tough, filled with skill, lots of skill, lots of teams I could see making playoffs. I could for sure see the Blues making playoffs. They just have to play better than the opposing teams out there. And I forgot I need to go to Walgreens too. Thanks for reminding me. Again, thoughts on new additions. I think they're going to be a big help. Once all these guys can get going, I like what's going on. I think they need to build chemistry with one another. Like I said earlier, Joseph I think could belong somewhere else in the lineup or have different line mates. But it just comes down the time. Really, I really like him so far. Really, I truly do. I like him a lot. I'd love to see Broberg and Parayko play together at one point because I thought Letty was a little mediocre, but I like him. Big fan. Thoughts on Kyrou 50-goal season? I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up happening. Like, for real. If you want to be honest, for real. He looked electric out there, and if he could pop 50, Blues are making playoffs. For sure. That's the thing. If Jordan Kyrou can pot 50 goals, the St. Louis Blues will be making the playoffs for sure, because that means Robert Thomas is probably going to get a good chunk of those assists, assuming that they'll play on a line together and also on the power play like today. So Robert Thomas will wake up. Kyrou will be getting goals. Someone's got to feed him goals. Buchnevich, I feel like. Here's the thing. When one player is becoming a superstar and you have a bunch of good players like Thomas, Buchnevich, Texier, Holloway, I mean, they haven't made a name for themselves yet, but Neighbors, when they have a superstar like that, teams tend to focus on that superstar. So all these other great players around the superstar will play significantly better because it's just like, we have to worry about them. Last year, with Kyrou's slow start and the Blues offensively, not getting going. I feel like teams would come into St. Louis, or when we would go to them, it's just like, okay, these guys kind of blow. We just got to worry about Thomas passing and Kyrou jerking off. Like, yeah, but I mean, now they have so many different guys to worry about, and then they'll open up time for Kyrou. When Kyrou gets hot, it'll just open a bunch of doors. Bunch of doors will be open. So, yeah, it feels good to be back. This is a nice little 15-minute video with nothing else. Probably not going to edit anything. Much love to everybody who, has been around for the last few years on Instagram, helping me out and stuff. I really, truly do appreciate it, especially to my friends who tune in the YouTube for the very handful few. But, consistency and stuff, and we'll keep at it. So, next game I believe is going to be Thursday. I forget against who, either Chicago or Vegas. Don't remember, but we'll get to it then. Until next time, guys, go Blues. Love you all.